There are moments in life when the world seems quiet, yet beneath the silence, a voice speaks. Not through the wind, not through the chaos, but through the subtle nudges that your heart barely notices. A sign, a calling, a message, and yet so many of us ignore it. Today God is speaking. He is reaching out, not with thunder or fire, but with the still, small voice of guidance, a voice meant for you, a voice meant for now. You may have been waiting for a miracle, a breakthrough, a sign that everything will change. But sometimes, the sign has already been given. You just chose not to see it. Look around you. How many opportunities have passed unnoticed because you were too distracted, too busy, too stubborn? The universe, in its infinite wisdom, speaks in patterns, in moments, in whispers. And when you ignore these signs, life has a way of repeating them, louder, sharper, more insistent. God is not punishing you, God is guiding you. And guidance is not always loud. It is patient, it is gentle, and yet it requires attention, courage, and humility. Ask yourself, how often have I felt a tug in my heart, a thought I couldn't ignore, a feeling I pushed away? That was not coincidence. That was the sign, stories of ignored signs. Consider the person who felt called to speak, to act, to forgive, but hesitated. Days turned into months, months into years. The opportunity passed, the lesson remained. The universe doesn't give up easily. It waits. Or the individual who sensed a danger, ignored it, and only realized the warning too late. Pain arrived not as punishment, but as a teacher. God's signs are always protective. But protection requires recognition. Then there are those rare moments when we recognize the sign, yet our fear holds us back. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. Yet, God's message is clear. Faith does not eliminate fear. Faith teaches us to act in spite of it. In today's world, signs come in forms we don't always associate with God. A chance conversation, a book you were randomly drawn to read, a sudden thought that refuses to leave your mind. Even a failure can be a sign, a redirection rather than rejection. Social media, technology, and noise cloud our ability to hear. We scroll past moments of clarity as if they are insignificant. We ignore the quiet miracles in our lives because we are conditioned to wait for fireworks. But the true sign is subtle. The true sign aligns with your heart, challenges your complacency, and nudges you toward growth. It is personal. Take a moment now. Close your eyes, breathe, reflect. What is God trying to show you today? What patterns repeat in your life? What thoughts persist that you try to dismiss? Every pain carries a lesson. Every loss carries a message. Every encounter carries wisdom. Ignoring them is ignoring God. Receiving them is embracing divine guidance. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not passive, it is active listening. God's sigh. GNS require your attention, your patience, your courage to act. The longer you ignore the signs, the heavier life becomes. Doors remain closed, opportunities slip away, pain repeats itself. Yet even in this delay, God is patient. He is waiting for you to recognize what has always been there. This is the moment to awaken, to open your eyes, to stop dismissing the subtle nudges, the quiet warnings, the gentle invitations. The sign you've been ignoring is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for recognition. Call to action, gentle but firm. Today, listen, truly listen. Pause the chaos, reflect. Ask yourself, what is God trying to tell me? And do not run from the answer even if it challenges you. Write it down, pray over it, meditate on it, share it with someone you trust. Take a small step, one action, one thought, one choice that acknowledges the sign. The sign is not just a message, it is a doorway, a pathway, a calling. And every journey begins with recognition. God speaks in whispers to hearts that are ready to hear. Stop ignoring the sign. Stop waiting for perfection. Stop hiding from courage. Your life is asking for alignment with purpose. Your spirit is asking for recognition. Your path is asking for action. The sign has always been there. The question is, will you finally see it? When God speaks, it is never random. Each sign, each nudge, each persistent thought is intentional. Yet, recognition requires courage. Awareness requires stillness. Action requires faith. Too often we confuse coincidence with divine purpose. We call something luck or fate and move on, but the truth is far greater than luck. It is God's hand guiding you, shaping your life, and preparing you for transformation. The question is not whether signs exist. The question is whether you have the humility, the clarity, and the courage to act on them. The consequence of ignoring the call. Every ignored sign has a cost. Small at first, almost invisible, like a ripple in water, but the ripple grows. Opportunities are lost. Relationships falter. Health deteriorates. Peace evaporates. Imagine being repeatedly given directions to a destination, yet ignoring each step. You wander endlessly, frustrated, exhausted, wondering why life feels heavy. That is the weight of ignored guidance. God does not delight in punishment. Pain is not divine wrath, it is divine correction. He allows discomfort, frustration, and setbacks so that your attention is drawn to the signs you previously overlooked. Personal story of transformation. Consider someone who spent years in a life they didn't love, trapped in routines, fear, and expectations. One day, a small, almost unnoticed sign appeared, a phrase in a book, a conversation, a fleeting thought. At first it was ignored. Life went on, but the feeling persisted. Restlessness grew. Peace slipped away. Finally they paused, listened, and acted. That single act, acknowledging the sign, changed everything. A career shift, a nay. Relationship, a healed family, inner peace, fulfillment. The sign was the door. They simply had to open it. This is how God works. He gives you signs, not for your comfort, but for your awakening. Today, signs are everywhere if you know where to look. A sudden insight, a gut feeling, a pattern that keeps repeating, a dream that leaves a mark. Even failure, rejection, or heartbreak can be a divine sign. Yet, our world is noisy. Our attention is fractured. Notifications, obligations, and distractions drown out the subtle voice of God. We scroll past guidance, overlook opportunities, and rationalize warnings. The question is not, does God speak? The question is, am I listening? Reflection and spiritual exercise. Close your eyes. Let your mind be still. Ask yourself, what signs have I ignored in my life? What lessons keep repeating unheeded? Where have I dismissed my intuition, my gut, my heart? Recognize the answer without judgment. God does not condemn you for ignoring His signs. He simply invites you to start seeing them now. Write down 3 signs that have been persistent in your life. They could be relationships, thoughts, fears, opportunities, or dreams. Sit with them, pray over them, seek clarity. Signs are meaningless without action. God provides guidance, but He does not act in our stead. The transformation begins with small, intentional steps. If the sign urges reconciliation, extend the olive branch. If it calls for courage, take one brave action today. If it points to personal growth, make a small commitment to change. Even a tiny step signals obedience. It creates momentum. It opens doors that were previously invisible. Remember, faith is not passive. Faith is active listening, acting, and trusting that God's plan is unfolding, even when it is unseen. Often, we ignore signs because we feel unprepared, unworthy, or incapable. Yet God's timing is never late. The sign may appear before the full path is visible. That is intentional. He gives signs to prepare, to awaken, to guide. He asks you to trust, to move forward even in uncertainty, and to rely on His wisdom rather than your own understanding. Trusting the timing does not mean waiting idly. It means listening, discerning, and moving in alignment with divine guidance. God's signs are all around you, but they are only powerful when you see them, acknowledge them, and act. Today, stop dismissing your intuition, your feelings, your recurring thoughts. They are not random. They are God's whispers. Commit to noticing, commit to pausing, commit to acting, write, reflect, pray, or share. One small acknowledgement leads to clarity. One small step leads to momentum. One decision can redirect your entire life. Do not ignore the sign. Do not wait for the perfect moment. The sign exists now. It is persistent. It is patient. It is your pathway to alignment, purpose, and fulfillment. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for attention, courage, and trust. Recognize the signs, act on them, and allow your life to transform. The sign is not outside you. It has always been inside you, nudging, guiding, and calling you toward your destiny. The hardest part of recognizing a sign is not seeing it, it is acting on it. Fear rises, doubt whispers, comfort clings, the mind questions. Am I ready? Am I strong enough? What if I fail? God never promises that acting on his signs will be easy. He promises that it will be transformative, that every step of obedience, no matter how small, draws you closer to your destiny. Today, he is asking you to choose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, faith over doubt. Fear is subtle. It masquerades as logic, self-preservation, and caution. It convinces you to wait for the right moment, to procrastinate, or to ignore the persistent nudges in your heart. But God's signs do not wait for fear to pass. They arrive precisely to challenge it. They exist to awaken bravery in the parts of you that have grown timid, cautious, or indifferent. Every sign ignored because of fear is a doorway left closed. Every act of courage in response to a sign is a step toward freedom, fulfillment, and purpose. Consider the power of a single act of obedience, a kind word spoken, a step toward reconciliation, a career change pursued, a dream finally followed. One moment, one choice, one act of faith. That is all it takes for God's plan to begin unfolding. The universe aligns, doors open, synchronicities appear, and clarity begins to illuminate the path ahead. Obedience transforms doubt into confidence, weakness into strength, and hesitation into momentum. The sign was always the invitation, the action is the key. Signs in the midst of struggle. Signs often appear in the most unexpected ways, through struggle, pain, or loss. Life may feel unbearable. Circumstances may seem unfair. Relationships may fracture. Yet these trials are not coincidences. They are signs guiding you toward deeper awareness and spiritual growth. God does not abandon you in suffering. He speaks in the language of your heart, in the moments that feel painful, in the silence between chaos. When you embrace these signs amidst struggle, you do more than survive. You transcend. Pain becomes wisdom. Confusion becomes clarity. Struggle becomes the soil in which your destiny grows. Pause and reflect. Stop rushing. Silence the noise. Listen deeply to the persistent thoughts and nudges that you have been ignoring. Discernment through prayer or meditation. Ask God for clarity. Seek the alignment of your thoughts, actions, and spirit with his guidance. Small, courageous actions. Take the first step, even if it is tiny. Reach out to someone. Say the truth. Begin the change. Trust the process. Understand that transformation takes time. Results may not appear immediately, but every step forward aligns you with God's plan. Stay vigilant. Signs do not stop once action begins. God continues to speak, guiding the next steps, teaching lessons and offering opportunities for growth. The role of faith. Faith is the bridge between the sign and the action. It is believing in what you cannot yet see. Trusting that God's guidance is real, purposeful, and perfectly timed. Faith does not eliminate fear, but it empowers you to act despite it. Faith does not guarantee ease, but it guarantees growth. Faith does not reveal the entire path, but it illuminates the next step. When you act on a sign with faith, you invite miracles, clarity, and transformation into your life. Modern example of transformation. Imagine a person who has always dreamed of starting a business, writing a book, or moving to a new place. Every time the thought arises, fear intervenes. What if I fail? What if it's too late? One day the sign comes again. A conversation, an opportunity, a persistent thought. This time the person listens. They take one bold step forward. They act. The fear does not vanish, but the momentum begins. Doors open, opportunities multiply, confidence grows, life shifts in ways previously unimaginable. This is the power of responding to God's signs. Small acts of courage create life-changing ripples. Every moment you wait, the sign is still there, calling. Waiting is not neutral. It is a choice to remain in comfort, in fear, in stagnation. God's voice is patient, but time is finite. Life is fleeting. The sign exists in this moment. The path to purpose exists in this moment. Your courage exists in this moment. Do not let another day pass ignoring what your heart already knows. God's signs are persistent, patient, and profound. They speak to your soul, urging you to act, to change, to awaken. They are not threats, they are invitations. Act on the nudges you have long ignored. Step into the fear, step into the unknown, step into the path God has illuminated for you. Trust Him. Trust yourself. Trust the process. The sign has been waiting for recognition. Your courage has been waiting for action. Your transformation has been waiting for obedience. The question is no longer whether the sign exists. The question is, will you finally act on it? You have seen the signs. You have felt the nudges. You have wrestled with fear, doubt, and hesitation. Now it is time to step fully into the truth. God's guidance is not abstract. It is practical, personal, and transformative. This is the moment where recognition meets action, where faith meets courage, where destiny meets its calling. God is not waiting to bless you for ignoring the sign. He is ready to guide you because you chose to see it, to listen, and to act. When you finally acknowledge God's signs and align your actions with them, life begins to change. The heavy weight of indecision lifts. Clarity replaces confusion. Fear transforms into courage. You realize that all the struggles, delays, and doubts were preparing you for this moment. Every small act of obedience, every step forward despite fear, every whisper of faith has led you here. Alignment is freedom. Alignment is peace. Alignment is the life you were meant to live. The role of divine timing. Understand this, your timing and God's timing are not always the same. You may feel ready before the sign arrives, or the sign may appear before you feel ready. Patience is not passive, it is active trust. It is knowing that God's timing is perfect, and every delay, every obstacle, every challenge is part of the preparation for the breakthrough. The moment you act in alignment with His signs, the universe begins to orchestrate miracles. Opportunities appear, connections form, and the path becomes clear. Transformation is not instantaneous. It is a journey of consistent alignment. The more you heed the signs, the more attuned you become to God's voice. Relationships transform as you speak truth, forgive, and embrace. Love, career, and purpose evolve as you take bold, faithful actions. Inner peace grows as you release control and trust divine guidance. Every act of obedience is a seed. Every step taken in faith is a ripple. The cumulative effect is a life lived in purpose, fulfillment, and divine alignment. God's signs require courage, not once but repeatedly. Life will continue to test you. Challenges will arise, fear will return, doubt will whisper. But now, you have learned the truth. Recognition plus action equals transformation. You no longer ignore the signs. You no longer wait for perfect conditions. You no longer let fear decide your path. Courage becomes habitual. Faith becomes instinctive. Alignment becomes your way of life. God's message is simple: stop ignoring the signs. They are not optional. They are invitations to awaken, to grow, and to live fully. The signs are everywhere, in the people you meet, in the challenges you face, in the thoughts that linger, in the doors that open unexpectedly. Each one is a reflection of divine intention. To ignore them is to deny your own potential. To heed them is to embrace your destiny. Practical steps for living aligned. Observe daily. Pay attention to recurring thoughts, feelings, and experiences. They are often signs in disguise. Act with faith. Every step, no matter how small, matters. Action transforms signs into reality. Reflect and adjust. Evaluate your progress. Learn from mistakes. And remain open to further guidance. Serve and share. When you act on God's signs, your life becomes a beacon. Others will see, be inspired, and recognize signs in their own lives. Trust continuously. Life is an ongoing dialogue with God. Continue to notice, act, and align. Imagine living each day fully attuned to God's guidance. Every decision is infused with purpose. Every action reflects courage. Every challenge becomes a lesson, not a burden. Every encounter carries meaning. You wake each morning with clarity. You move through life with confidence. You embrace change as a friend. You recognize your path and walk it boldly. This is not fantasy. This is the reality for those who stop ignoring the signs. Closing, profound emotional finale. God has spoken. The signs have been present. The invitation has been extended. Now, it is your choice. Will you continue to overlook the whispers of your heart, the patterns of life, the gentle nudges of divine guidance? Or will you see them, hear them, and act? The door is open, the path is illuminated, the courage is within you. The time is now. Stop ignoring the sign. Step forward, trust God, embrace your destiny, live fully, courageously, and purposefully. Your life is waiting, not for perfection, not for permission, but for your recognition and action. The sign is here. The question is, will you answer it?